guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So I am just getting ready to colour some seam binding. So I've been asked lots and lots and lots about how I colour my seam binding and make the little flowers. Now I do have a few videos out, but I thought I need to make some more. So I thought I would just video it. Now I'm using Hug Snug seam binding, and I always buy the white because then I can colour it whatever colours I want, and I haven't got a whole roll of just one colour. So that's what I like to do. It is the it's 1/2 inch or 12 millimeters, and it's 100 yards or 91.4 meters. Now I always buy the chalk white because then you know you've got lots more options to use it. Now you can colour it with all sorts of things, but if you're going to wash it, then I would probably get some, you know, proper dye that does fabric, but I don't. I just use my Distress Oxides. I've got a nice selection here. So today I'm going to use Distress Oxides, and I'm also going to try out some of my Liquitex acrylic ink to use. Now I won't wash this, so I'm not worried about if it's going to be colour fast or anything like that. But like I said, if you want to wash it and you're going to use it for other things, then I would probably use something that is made for fabric, for dyeing fabrics. So you can use all sorts of things. Like I said, you can use your Distress ink pads to do it. You can use all sorts of things. So try it out. Have a little experiment. If you've got some colours that you want to use, try it out and see how it works. Now, I want to sort of... Now, I was making these yesterday, and I want to do these for my little book-themed sort of like journal that I'm going to be doing. So I want these sort of colours in there. Now, as I was looking, I was just going to use these Distress Oxides, but I've got my Liquitex ones, and these are the colours of the muted ones that I have. And I just think they are sort of like a really good match, aren't they? So this muted pink is absolutely perfect for that. And also we've got this, the muted green on there as well, which I think is a really good match. So I'm going to just try and use those and see how it goes. Now I have got 4 pieces of seam binding. Now this is probably, I don't know, 8 feet, something like that. There's quite a lot of it. So I've got 4 lots of the same. So it's probably, I would say, about 8 feet, wouldn't it? So that's probably a ruler's worth. 8 rulers worth. So you know, or what would that be in, I don't know, a couple of meters. So I've got 4 lots of that, so I'm going to do 4 different colours. Now I'm going to use my gloves because I don't want to get ink everywhere all over my fingers. So I'm just going to pop these little plastic gloves on, but if you don't mind getting your fingers inky, then you can just not bother with the gloves. But I don't want to get it all under my fingernails because it just doesn't, it takes forever to go, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the first bit, and I've got some water in here. So I'm just going to wet this. Now you can just pop this into, run it under the tap, just what I mean, to get them wet. But I'm just going to get that wet because I find if you get it wet, it takes the colour better. So let's just get that nice and wet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do all the colours, and then I'm going to pop it all out into the garden to dry. Is that wet enough? And then I will come back and make some lovely little seam binding flowers. So there we go. Shall I just wet them all, and then we can just do the colour, can't we? Let's have a look. Is that one? So let's just wet all of this. I'm just going to do one at a time, because if I wet them all in one go, I will end up with a big mess. I'm going to end up with them all tangled up. Now, as you can see, if you've not used seam binding before, it really does a lovely, lovely crinkle. So if you wanted to use something for shabbiness, I think this is ideal. Now, I did purchase this off Etsy, and it comes from America. and I'm in Portugal, so the postage is astronomical, and I also have to pay an import fee as well, so it works out really is just so expensive. So it would be nice if we could get it in Europe, but at the moment I can't find it anywhere. So when I colour it like this, that's why I bought the white, because then I can just colour it any colour I like. So, you know, I want to obviously colour it at the colours that I want to use in my journals. So I think Shabby is the best, isn't it, for me? So I'm going to try and do some greens and some pinks and maybe a blue. So let's hope it all comes out all pretty. So let me just quickly, I think that's probably wet enough. Last one. So 4 nice colours. I will probably leave some. I'm not going to do all of them in all of it in flowers. So I will leave some that I can do some bows and some flowers, so it's all the same sort of colour, so they match. Okay, it's probably quicker for you to just run this under the tap and just wet these. Okay, so rolling it in between your hands really does makes them all lovely and crinkly. Okay, let's pop those to the side and start on this one. Now I am going to use the muted pink. Now I'm going to just quickly add a bit more water to that, tiny bit of this, and then I'm going to just roll it in my hands. And this really, oopsie daisy, it's all blended in lovely. Can you see? More water. Don't be afraid to mix colours. Do you know what I mean? Don't forget to, you can mix everything up. And before it dries, if you really don't like the colour, it will wash out. So just run it under the tap. Can you see that's a lovely, lovely pink? Now I'm going to add to this pink, because it's a little bit, it's a lovely pink, but I wanted a little bit more sort of muted. So I'm going to go in with milled lavender. Now these ones don't really spray too well. Now I'm going to do that. Now the Distress Oxide inks do give a lot of sort of a chalky look to them. Look at that, that's lovely, isn't it? I like that. So it will give a chalky look. So if you don't like that, don't use the Distress Oxide sprays, use just the normal ink sprays, if you know what I mean. Look at that, that's perfect, isn't it? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Do we have a little bit more colour in there? Want it sort of a bit more. It will dry just a little bit lighter than that. So let's just see. I think I might just leave it like that. So let's pop that one to the side. So that's our pink. Now what shall we use? What shall I go for now? Let's add a little bit of water, make it nice and wet, so then the ink spreads. Now I want to do a sort of bluey colour. Now this is a grey to give it that muty bit, and then I've got weathered wood. Now I don't have a huge amount of this left. Let me just pop that on there, roll it up. Look at that. Oh, I like that. I might actually add just a tiny bit of blue into this. Look at that, I do like that colour. What blue shall I use? This one might be a little bit dark, what do you reckon? Just a tiny bit in there. Bit of water. Now just rolling it like this really does get all the ink spread lovely, because look at that. That's quite a nice sort of shabby blue, isn't it? Look at that, perfect. Now I've got ink on my hand, so I won't bring that over, but it's got sort of like little bits of different colour in there, which I quite like, so I'm going to pop that to the side. I think that pink might be a bit too pink. I need to sort of, I'm going to get some tissue in it. I don't want that as vibrant, so I'm just going to take some of that colour out. Now I can use this. Don't throw your tissue away, because that can be used in mixed media or something. So look, that's lovely. Now I'm going to, what shall we pop with this? Maybe I'll pop a little tea dye. I want to sort of not have it so pink. A little bit of water. Well, I want it pink, but I want it a bit more of a muted pink. What's that like? That's quite nice, actually. There we go. That's better. So that's just added a little bit of the tea dye in there. A bit more water to blend that in. There we go. Look how scruffy it goes. Just fabulous. There we go, that's better. So that's two nice colours. Now I'm going to go for a greeny colour now. A bit more water on there. Let's put these back. What's this one? I'm going to go for old paper. Do you think this will spray? Sort of. Let's just rub that in. Right, I'm going to go in now. It's just sort of like a base colour. Now I'm going to go in with a bit of more water. And I'm going to use some of the muted green. Now this is, look, that's quite dark, so let's give that a rub around and see if we can get that all into our ribbon. The easiest way I found is just by rubbing it in between your hands like that. Good to experiment anyway, so just try out any colours that you have. Do you know what I mean? If you've got some, oh, that looks a bit minty. Not quite sure I like that. Let's just rub that around. Yes, that's a bit of a minty green. I'm not going for a minty green, so what shall we put in there? I think I will go for a bit of brushed corduroy on here. There we go. So yes, it's a bit of sort of trial and error, isn't it? Now this is looking really awful. I don't like this at all. Maybe we'll have to turn this one into sort of a brownish shabby one. What do you think? I'm going to take a little bit of my burnt umber. Going with a little bit of brown. Oops. Let's see what colour this comes out. You can't go wrong with a little bit of brown, because we can use that in all sorts of things, can't we? That's very sort of vintagey. Oh, that's nice. That's better, isn't it? That's a little bit better. Very nice and scruffy. So I want a nice green. So I'm going to leave that like that, because that's sort of a nice vintagey colour. So look, these are the colours so far. They're really nice, aren't they? Okay, put that to the side. I'm going to just wipe that off and off my hands. bring this one in. Nice bit of water. Now I'm going to go in again with the weathered wood and try that with a little bit of green, I think. There we go. Let's try our old paper. There we go. See if we can get a bit more of a green in there. I don't think I liked the ink. That didn't really go down very well. Oh, this is quite nice. That's nice, isn't it? Let's have a look. Do we want it to be a little bit greener than that? I don't know. Look at those. They're really nice. Oh, look. I've got ink all over this one. They're lovely colours. Now, I like those. I like those a lot. So they're perfect. So that's in there. Lovely. So I'm going to leave that one to the side. That one is really, really nice. This is nice, but that's gone on to the blue. So can you see I've got blue on there? So let me just see if I can get rid of some of that blue in there. I think that's it. Rub it all in, make it disappear. Perfect. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and take this outside because we've got a beautiful sunny day. And it's a little bit breezy, so this will dry lovely. I will go and pop this out in the garden, and then I will be back and we will make some flowers. So see you in 2 seconds. Okay guys, so they are pretty dry now. They've been out in the garden. So what I'm going to do now, because they are also wrinkled up like this, I am ironing them. Now I've got my little tabletop ironing board and my lovely little cute iron. So look at the colours, they are just beautiful. Now I did do a darker one because these looked a little bit, these all together looked a little bit sort of pastel-y, and I needed a sort of like a darker one in there. So what I have used, let me just get these out. I mixed the Kitsch Flamingo, which I always call kitchen for some reason. So if I say kitchen, you know which one I mean. Weathered wood, and this is the Starburst Squirts by Lindy's, and it is Canadian Bacon Blush, and it's got sort of like a little shimmer in it. I don't know whether you can see that, but it does have like a little shimmer, which makes it look really, really pretty. Not that you can really see it on here, but it's come out an absolutely perfect colour, because if you look at the colours in here on these, look at that, that just matches perfect, and I just think these colours are gonna work so well. So all I'm doing, I've already ironed these, because ironing them, it softens them up, because these are quite rough, and because I've scrunched them up so much, they're sort of like quite rough, and it's easier then to make the little flowers if they're flat. So all I'm doing is going through like this. I've just got both of them on my ironing board together. As you can see, I use this quite a lot for sort of like flattening out all my sort of like tea stain bits and pieces that I make in the summertime. So if I want to sort of like sew something, I will flatten it, or if I want to print on some tea stain paper, I normally sort of like iron the edge first so it's nice and flat to go into the printer. So I love my little ironing board and my diddly little iron. So you can buy these irons fairly cheap. I think they're all roughly the same sort of thing. You know, they just make things nice and flat. And it's really, really handy. So I'm gonna just finish doing this. I'm just showing you this so you know what I'm doing, how I get them sort of flat. But again, you can just pop them onto your ironing board, your big one, and do it with when you're ironing. But I would pop something down just in case the colour comes out. Especially if you iron when they're wet, the colour will come out. It will transfer onto your ironing board. So I'll pop a little bit of an old pillowcase or something down. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to finish this and then pop this away, and then we will start making some little flowers. So I'll be back 2 seconds. Okay guys, so lovely. They're all ironed and all nice and flat and soft and lovely. So I have done one of each colour, which I think look really, really pretty. Now they're so simple to do, and the colours, if you look at the colours, I think I've got these pretty good match on these. Look at that one, that's that lovely sort of bluey grey on there. We've got the lovely pinks, but I'm just loving the colours, absolutely stunning. So really, really pleased with those. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you how I do it. So it's really, really simple. So let's just find the end. But look at all these, they're just beautiful. I'm really, really happy with that. So I've just got some cotton thread on here. Use whatever you have. And I'm going to take the end. I've just cut it off into a slight angle on there. And then I'm going to just do a little sort of knot, a little stitch at the end, just to hold that knot in so it doesn't sort of like pull through, like that. And then I'm just going to do, just along the edge, just along one edge, just a running stitch along there. So I'm going to do probably about 10 stitches, 3, 4, just go along like that. Now again, you can do, you know, have it as long or as short as you like, and that will make it up. I don't know how many stitches that was, but you can just have a look, take your needle out like that, and then you can see how big you want your sort of like flower. Now that one, shall I measure it? I'm not cutting it off because I don't want to waste anything, so that's about there. So let's just measure that and show you. So that's about 12 centimeters, or about, it's probably about 5 inches. So if you do them sort of like 5 or 6 inches, I think they're just the perfect size. So what I'm going to do, leave it on the end, just cut it off at a slight angle like that, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take the end of this one, I'm going to get them all dangled up, and we put end to end. Okay, so you just want to just pop the ends together. Gosh, it's a lot easier than this normally. Just pop the ends together, pull that sort of tightish, and then we just want to sew them together. Just sew those two ends together, just so it goes around into like a little flower. So again, if you don't have seam binding, you can use bits of lace and little bits of ribbon and things like that. You don't have to have seam binding. And then just pull that tight and snip that off like that. And then you've got your little flower. Look at that, just perfect. Little tiny seam binding flower. And then we can make bows and all sorts of things. You can have a little bit hanging off the bottom. You can wrinkle these back up again. So if you wanted them a bit shabby, you can just scrunch them back up again. But I just think they are beautiful. So shall we make another one? So I'm going to sit this afternoon and make a little bunch of these. Shall we make a green one? I just love them. So I'm just using the same pink thread. I'm not really worried about it because you can't really see it anyway. So let's just, oh my gosh, if I can, pop a little stitch in the end so it doesn't pull through like that, and then we will just do a little running stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go, just a little taddy bit bigger. Cut that off. I find it easier to do it all on one length, because then you know, you're not wasting anything, are you? So just put these back to back, just the ends back to back like that. Pull that tight so it makes your little flower, and then just sew them together I just think they're lovely. So what you could do, you could make some little lace ones which are a little bit bigger, a little bit wider than this, and then you could put these on top of your little lacy flowers, couldn't you? Pull that tight like that. Look at that, just beautiful. I just love them, and they are so simple, and it's quite a sort of like a little sort of like no-brainer if you want to sort of like make little ones to go in your stash. So look, you could have that little pink one on top of there and just sort of like glue that on or sew that together. And then these, look, you could just pop that on the corner, and I just think how pretty that would be on there. You could pop a little pearl on there, a little diamante on there, something, whatever, just, but they are just so cute. That could hang on there with a little pearl on it. They are beautiful. I just love them, and I used to make these all the time, and one of you lovely ladies made them in the group and posted them in the group, and I forgot all about them, and I realized that I didn't have any, so I am making more. I'm going to have an afternoon of making them. Right, so this is the end. I'm going to just cut that off because it's a bit scraggly on there. Pop that on, pop that to the side. Then again, we're just going to do a little stitch in there, just like a little double one, because I've done them before. Well, I didn't do a double stitch, and the stitching just comes all the way through when you pull it tight. So what we're going to do, the thread's not that long now, just do just a little running stitch just down the edge like that. Now I suppose you could probably, I wonder if you could do that. Shall we try? I'm going to keep that one there. I'm going to put the pink one behind. I'm going to do a double one. I've not tried this, so let me just pop that in. I probably don't really have enough thread on here, but we shall see. Let's do just a quick running stitch for two of them. 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to just do 8. Oh no, I won't. I'll do 10. Like that. I'm going to cut that off. Cut both of these off. Pop them. Now I suppose whichever one, if you wanted the lighter in the middle, which I think I will, bend it so that's on the outside. So the darker one, whichever one you want on the outside, have it facing up like that, and then just stitch those together, make sure that's in there properly. Pop that through. There we go. Oh, I can just about do a couple of stitches on here. Let's just tie that off. Cut that down. Make sure I don't lose my needle. There we go. Look at that. So we've got the little lighter pink on top, and then the darker pink underneath. Oh, I like that one. That's a lovely one, isn't it? So that would go on here like that. So that's already doubled up. Oh, how pretty. And then a little pearl in the middle will look beautiful, wouldn't it? So there we go, guys. They are really super simple to do. It's just a little running stitch, and then you just sew it at the end. But again, you can use these lace and ribbon and little offcuts. If you have little bits of ribbon that come with little gifts and things like that, chocolates and things like that, if you're lucky enough, you might have some bits and pieces left over from Christmas. You could make these as well, but loving them. So there we go, guys. My afternoon is going to be making these, so I will show you a big pile of these. I'm not going to use all of it. Like I said, I'm going to keep some to make some bows. So let's have a look. I'm going to just make a quick, nice, long bow like this. Let's just make a little bow like that. just small, just so it dangles down. Oops, just a little diddy one. Cut that off. Let's just cut this little bit off at an angle. Then I'm going to scrunch it up just a tiny bit, not too much. And look, we have a little scrunchy bow, which you could probably pop with that as well, and they would go lovely. So there we go, guys. So you've got a little bow, and then all of these colours will sort of obviously go together, but they are beautiful. So there we go, guys, a nice quick video just how I colour my seam binding and make the little flowers. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. I hope you've made some little envelopes like this, or little paper bag embellishments. I will be using these in the journal, so I will get all of the bits and pieces together, and we will start making the journal either tomorrow or Wednesday. Depends how busy I am and how excited I am to start making it. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye-bye.